comparing with other emerging markets, I will rate us 60%.
So how can we be positioned to stimulate more investment generation in the country? As in, how can the market be positioned in such a way that we will grow from that 60% to even 99.9%?
Okay, let me tell you this, because I believe in regulation. If you look at it, the most regulated markets are the biggest markets in the world. That tells you that, look, investors go to where their investments are protected. And that's why I told you we shouldn't change the game in the middle of the, change the rules in the middle of the game. Right? Investors go to the most regulated market, the US market, the Chinese market is there, UK, Brazil. The most regulated markets are the ones that will always attract funding. So getting the stable cleaned is very, very paramount, which I think the SEC is actually fast-tracking. Becoming very, very innovative and competitive is actually very, very important. And innovation and competitiveness don't only come from the regulators. The operators themselves must key in. And that's what we are doing at Morgan Capital.
Okay, right? So and you just need a yes or no answer for this. Is the Nigerian capital market on that path?
Yes.
Thank you very much, Ayolike, for speaking with us on the program today. It's been wonderful having you.
Thank you very much.
Well, I've been speaking with the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of Morgan Capital, Ayolike Ado, and we've been focusing on the Nigerian Stock Exchange in the last 53 years and policies and regulations, implementation of all the things that ought to be done to put the market where it should be. And as he said, from everything he said today, it's very positive. At least that's what the stockbroking and the operating community actually feels towards the Nigerian Stock Exchange. And so all hope is not lost yet. But that's the end of the program for today. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Harriet Agbenyi.
A check is described as a document that orders a payment of money from one bank account. The person writing the check, the drawer, usually has a current account where the money was previously deposited. The drawer writes the various details, including the monetary amount, date, and a payee on the check, and signs it, ordering the bank, known as the drawee, to pay the person or company the amount of money stated. The use of checks has become instrumental for business transactions. Business owners use checks as a form of payment. And now that the central bank's cashless policy has been implemented in the country, it has become more important for businessmen and women to embrace this form of payment. While checks may not be too prominent among other channels of payment, it has become necessary to use it more frequently, as it does not only lessen the burden of physical cash, the value of the money on the check is kept intact. More importantly, it is regarded as a means of transferring very large sums of money from one person to another. Other forms of transactions like the automated teller machine, internet banking and point of sales seem to have gained prominence more than the check. However, there are benefits attached to the use of checks for business transactions. Some of them are, it is safe as a form of transporting money. There is guarantee from the issuer and paying bank, that is, the payee. On the other hand, the use of checks for business transaction may bring some cost implication to the issuer of the check. Also, it may take some days before it is cleared, before the value is delivered. It can be lost in transit. And the most recent contention against the check is that it may become less attractive since the introduction of other forms of payment. According to reports, only 5% of retail spending is still paid by check, compared with over 60% by debit or credit card. This shows the preference for other e-payments medium to the check. And according to experts, the use of checks has been declining rapidly since 1990, and by 2015, personal checks may account for only 2.9% of all non-cash payments made by individuals. The Central Bank of Nigeria has been tinkering with the financial system by introducing various financial policies. One of the most recent is the introduction of the cashless policy. According to the Apex Bank, its aim is to reduce the amount of money in the economy. The Central Bank of Nigeria in August 2007 launched the Payment System Vision 2020 initiative. This process commenced with the unveiling of the PSV 2020 strategy document, which benchmarks the Nigerian payment system against global best practices.
It's 11 o'clock in Lagos, Nigeria. Thank you for staying with us and welcome to News Track.
I'm Melinda Akinlami. A persistent clamor from some groups and individuals to have a national conference has eventually been given the nod by the president. President Goodluck Jonathan went a step further yesterday by announcing an advisory committee to establish modalities for the exercise to resolve the issues that currently cause friction in the country.
In his early morning Independence Day broadcast to the nation, Nigeria's #1 citizen said that the committee, which would have Dr. Femi Okoromu as its chairperson and Dr. Akilu Sani Ndambawa as secretary, will complete its assignment within 1 month.
Our constitution is anchored ultimately on the idea of freedom and fundamental rights. Freedom of expression, freedom from discrimination, freedom to vote and be voted for, and the right to human dignity. These are the core values of a true democracy. These are the values of which we must never lose sight. In my address to the United Nations General Assembly last week, I emphasized the crucial role of democratization in improving the fortunes, not just of this country, but of our entire continent. Democratic values encourage diversity. They encourage discourse. They encourage disagreement. This is the joy of democracy. It enables us to have an opinion, and ultimately the ballot box gives us all the opportunity to instigate change. When democracy works, it does not destroy a nation. It unites and defines it. Fellow Nigerians, our administration has taken cognizance of suggestions over the years by well-meaning Nigerians on the need for a national dialogue on the future of our beloved country. I'm an advocate of dialogue. When there are issues that stoke tension and bring about friction, it makes perfect sense for the interested parties to come together to discuss. In demonstration